Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial in Mississippi or to one of our online affiliates around the world. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome Dale Smith-Thomas to our program today. Dale is a motivational speaker and author and an individual who's been able to not only to be able to find her own purpose and passion, but to be able to walk in that and show other people what's possible in their own lives. She's now able to share that in her new book called Good Morning Gorgeous, Discovering Your Gorgeousness from the Inside Out. We'll talk to Dale about that journey for herself, what it's been like for her to discover her own personal greatness, but also what that message has been like for her to amplify to others through her work, as well as now through the book. If you're just not hearing about Dale's book, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can get your own copy of it. But Dale, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Well, hi, Cyrus. It's just awesome for me to hear the word Mississippi because that is my home state. So hello to everyone around the world, but a special hello to my home state of Mississippi today.
Well, Dale, that's why I was so excited to speak with you, because when I first got the email about the new book, I thought it's so great for people to have another example of someone from Mississippi who's been able to achieve amazing things and to not only do that, but also still recognize where they're from. What has this experience been like for you, Dale, to not only to have realized, the greatness as we're talking about here within yourself, but then to see how far that greatness has been able to take you?
Oh, my goodness, Cyrus. It has been such an amazing and blessed journey. I was born and raised on a farm way out in the middle of the country in North Mississippi. In fact, I'm coming home this weekend actually for a high school class reunion, but also to celebrate my mother's 80th birthday. And I'm a graduate of Mississippi State University. And honestly, growing up there in North Mississippi, I didn't believe in myself. All of these things I write about in the book about finding your passion and finding your purpose and believing yourself, this has been a learned process. I did not grow up with that set of skills, but it has been an absolutely beautiful journey as I've learned the personal development skills along the way that I now teach around the world. And I'm just so happy to have the roots of Mississippi, of love and hard work, and being able to put all that to work now in my life as I travel as a speaker and share this message of hope and empowerment and encouragement.
Yeah. And Dale, I think the other thing that comes through in this book is the appreciation for how everything seemed to lead up to where you are now and how everything really has been a stepping stone in that regard. What has that part of the experience been like for you? Because a lot of times people look at the things that they've gone through or even where they're from and they think, how in the world did I make it here from where I was? How has that appreciation helped you?
Well, first of all, I believe we always have to stand in gratitude. And I just shared this with an audience in California on Friday because especially right now with so much darkness in our world and after the event in Las Vegas last week, it's really easy to ask the wrong question. Why is this happening? Why now? Why these people? Why this? But all of that does is keep us paralyzed. And we can't move forward if we're asking the question why, because we will never know why. But what we have to do is stand in that presence and say, what can I do right now? And I believe every experience in your life, my life, and everyone that's listening to us, we have two choices. You can either just go through it or you can grow through it. And I believe every time in life, if you have a goal that you didn't hit, which I've had many, those instances, those experiences can either defeat you or define you. So every step of the way, I've done those two things. I've decided to grow through all of the hard parts and grow through the things that have been very successful for me, but to always stand in the presence of gratitude. Because I believe if you wake up every day and before your feet hit the floor, before you start talking about how tired you are, all these things that are going wrong in your life, if you will stop and find 1, 2, 3 things that are going right, it's like a magnet. You will begin to draw more of that to you. So stay in a spirit of gratitude and grow through it.
Yeah. Do you also think, because again, the new book is called Good Morning Gorgeous, Dale, do you also think that really this is something we have to cultivate each and every day, regardless of how we saw the day before? Every day has to be looked at as a brand new opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. This is a journey. This is not a destination. And I teach principles every day about staying positive, about setting goals. And yet, sometimes it's hard for me because I'm exhausted because of my travel schedule. But every day, and the way Good Morning Gorgeous kind of started, I was standing on a stage, I don't even remember where, and I was asking everyone, how did you start your day today? Because I believe every time we walk in a room, every time we have a conversation, we bring the weather with us. That means that you're either 80 degrees and sunny, like you are, Cyrus, or you're cloudy with a chance of rain. But we choose the energy we bring to the room. A positive attitude is a choice. It is not an emotion. So I asked a group one time, I said, just off the top of my head, I said, how many of y'all got up, looked in the mirror this morning and went, oh, good morning, gorgeous? And, of course, the whole audience, except for one man in the back who raised his hand, which always makes me laugh. But most people look in the mirror and they're already complaining about what they don't like. So Good Morning Gorgeous, that little funny tagline, was actually just to get people started on looking for something that they like about themselves, about their life. So absolutely, it is a journey. It's a choice you have to make every day. Sometimes it's a choice you have to make every minute because it is your decisions that determine your destiny, not your conditions.
Yeah, that is so true. And again, that I'm sure that helps so many people, Dale, for them to hear you say that. And then, of course, now for people to be able to read it because, again, there are so many people around us that are cloudy or gloomy, and that does seem to rub off sometimes because of that's what we are around. I think the other thing that really gets me about the book, and we'll delve into it a little bit more, is the importance of your own personal worth. And I think this is another thing that men and women, sometimes miss the mark on. You have the chapter, well, there actually are called gifts in the book. You have the various gifts.
Yes, they are. They're gifts.
And the fourth one is find yourself, know yourself. And I think for a lot of people in the world that we live in today, where there's everyone trying to be the next X, Y, or Z or emulate so many people, being yourself is not an easy thing. How did you get to that place?
Through a lot of hard work. And I'm telling you, this is a journey that we have to make every single day again because, first of all, negative is normal. And let me say this, you're exactly right. It is about the people that we're surrounding us with. One of my greatest mentors was a man named Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, and I love that he always said, you're the total of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you're listening to us and you want to live a happier, positive, more positive life, then check what you're surrounding yourself with. And you have to search for positive information to put into your soul. And I was constantly looking, probably through, so much of my life, for validation for someone else. And I think when we do that, we run that danger of their opinion becoming our reality. And one of the things that I love to do is to read about champions. And one of the programs that I also teach is called Choices Create Champions. And I love that because every day people that are champions know that they have to make the choice in that present moment. And I want you to think about athletes for a second. And I don't know if all of your listeners, and maybe some of them don't know the story about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and his coach told him that he was too small to play. But because Michael's mother had taught him to believe in himself and his ability and his hard work, he didn't let that person's vision of him or their opinion of him become his reality. So the way you know yourself is to get quiet and listen. And most people, if you ask them who they are, they will tell you where they work or if they're married or if they have children. But no, who are you really? What gifts did God send you to this planet with? Do you recognize those? Do you honor those gifts? And are you sharing those gifts? So I encourage everyone that's listening to us, take that quiet time and let your voice inside of your soul speak to you, and do not let someone else's opinion of you be your reality.
Wow, such a powerful point and such a great reminder, I think, for us all. Dale, I want to say for those who are just tuning in. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, and it's a daily thing we have to do. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Conversations Live. Dale Smith-Thomas is our guest for this segment. She's a motivational speaker and the author of a brand new book this year called Good Morning Gorgeous. We'll remind you at the end of the segment how you can get your own copy. And people already, like myself, Dale, I got the book through our friends at Amazon.com, the Kindle edition. I want to share one of the reviews. You mentioned one of the men in the audience that will raise his hand about, who said, Good Morning Gorgeous. One of the reviews from a man named Chris of the book said this about you: one of the most inspirational and dynamic figures in the game. Wow. Dale is one of the most inspirational and dynamic figures in the game. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to her publicly speak, I would put it on your bucket list and definitely buy her book. I wanted to share that particular thought, Dale, because I think there are other men like myself out there who will find so much in this book that they can be able to not only use themselves, but share with that special lady in their lives as well. What has that part been like for you to know that, of course, the audience that you wrote the book for is getting it, but also that us guys are getting it too?
Oh, I love that more than you can even know. And I just want to reach through the phone and hug your neck. That's a Mississippi thing. We hug everybody. And right. I just love it. And again, when I asked that question on Friday, how many of you said Good Morning Gorgeous to yourself? There were so many men that raised their hand. And I was speaking to 400 nurses, cardiology nurses. And I love that because you guys are a shining example to us, because I do believe that the men in the world usually have a stronger self-image and a stronger self-esteem than the women do. And I always believe that we can learn from you guys. I tell this because it's so funny. I saw a guy one time kind of, walking around with his head in the air, and I said, wow, you seem a little bit cocky. He's like, no, sister, I'm convinced. And I'm like, I love that. I love that. So what I want the men to do that grab Good Morning Gorgeous, because, gorgeous is a state of mind. We always think gorgeous belongs to women, but it doesn't. It means letting your light shine. It's being all that you can be. And if the men in the world can stand in that presence and then gently guide the women who are struggling with that, because the women, I do believe, are much harder on themselves. I know I was, and it's still hard. And especially so many of the messages that we get out there, in the media and now the social media, and these young women especially are seeing these perfect images on social media, and then they're comparing themselves to something that isn't real. And so that's why I really want everyone to find their own gorgeous spirit, and let's encourage each other. One of the things I have them do in my audience is not only get up and say Good Morning Gorgeous, to yourself, but share that with 5 people tomorrow, because the only way that we can get rid of darkness is to share more light. And that may be the only encouraging word someone hears. I remember Zig Ziglar, another great fellow Mississippian, said one time, many people go to bed hungry every night, but many more people go to bed hungry for an encouraging word. Let's be those light bearers, and I hope and pray that Good Morning Gorgeous just encourages people to share that with each other.
Yeah. You mentioned social media, Dale. One of the things that you tweeted the day that we're doing this conversation was, of course, Good Morning Gorgeous friends. Listen to your soul, you tweeted. And it reminded me of course, one of the chapters of the book, because it goes to that whole idea, gift number 3, about that, the importance of listening. You bring up another good point that I think that we definitely have to say again, and that is that, unfortunately, not only do some women not being able to see that in themselves, we guys sometimes don't help in that regard. And I think, so many times we have to kind of think differently and be better about that too. Yeah. To be able to share with women, though, that message, Dale, I mean, the importance of lifting your head up. You even talk about that in the latter part of the book, chin up, crown up. I mean, is that what you hope?
I just want to hug your neck because you've really read this book. I've done interviews all my life too. And it was always the authors who said to me, wow, you really read the book. But as an interviewer, I'm like, well, of course I read the book.
I say that all the time, Dale. It's so
you
funny.
Really read the book.
Well, look, it's my pleasure, because I think a lot of times that little pep talk to oneself, I think, is so important, because we don't always get it from others.
Critical.
Yeah. So when you talk to women about that pep talk, how does that make you feel to see them actually getting it, the importance of speaking that life and encouragement to themselves?
I am so humbled. It brings tears to my eyes. Just as I was flying into California on Thursday, and, my life is in demand, as I say, which means it's crazy. And there are days that, I am running on empty, and it was just one of those days, and trying to fly to the West Coast. And honestly, I was just exhausted and feeling, a little drained. And I get an email from a girl that had just finished the book telling me what it had meant to her and how she saw me speak 10 years ago, and that the words of encouragement I spoke to her 10 years ago had resulted in her going ahead and becoming an attorney and all these things. And it just, I am humbled that God has chosen to allow me to live this life. And I think that all of us, you're one of them too, we are hope dealers. And when you're a hope dealer, hope is helping other people excel. And whatever you do, whatever your title is, whatever your job is, if you're hearing me right now, we can all be hope dealers. That's how we change this world, by giving that word of encouragement. Again, Thursday, I landed in California. Again, tired. I'm standing there waiting for my luggage. This beautiful woman comes over to me, and I didn't feel like my light was fully on. I felt like it was half on, but not full on. And she walked over to me and said, "You have the most beautiful energy and spirit, and I just wanted to tell you that." So if you're listening to me right now, I know there are many times, many of you, just like I have seen someone with that kind of energy, and we think about going and telling them that, but that little negative voice in our head says, "Oh, she'll think you're weird," or "He will think you're weird," or "That's just strange." You need to silence that voice. And if you are prompted to speak life and hope and encouragement into someone else, do it. And do it now, because you are not promised tomorrow, just like we saw last week in Las Vegas. We need to be those lights. We need to be brave and take the risk and be hope dealers and encourage each other. Oh, I'm preaching now. That is beautiful. I mean, and that is so true, though, Dale. And I think that I've been seeing this online more now since the tragedy in Las Vegas. The importance of tomorrow's not promised, and we've always known that. Yes, but I think when it hits close to home, when it hits close to home like that, I think people then are reminded of that fact that we never know what the day is going to bring. So speaking of that, what is your hope, Dale? When people finish this book, what is your hope that they will be able to not only take to use for themselves, but they can, as you just mentioned, as a hope dealer, be able to share with someone else? My biggest hope that each one reach one. If every person that picks up this book, or every person that listens to our conversation today, turned around and encouraged someone because of what we've given, that is my hope. My goal this next 12 months is to reach 100,000 people or more with a message of hope. And then those people turn around and reach someone else. As I said, I grew up on a farm right there in North Mississippi with a pond, out back. And I know that when we dropped a rock in the pond, what happens? It ripples out. Well, if you share positivity, it ripples out. But if you share negativity, it ripples out. And one of the ways that I continue to do that, I write an email every Monday called Motivational Monday, because I heard everybody complaining about motivation, about Mondays. And, today I wrote about we're not promised tomorrow. Saturday, when I was flying home, my flight coming from Los Angeles had to make an emergency landing in Phoenix. And I have flown hundreds of thousands of miles throughout the years. I have never been on a plane where you can see the emergency vehicles on the tarmac as you're starting to land, which tells you something's really wrong. And thankfully, he landed. We were fine. We got on another plane. But that moment, you realize how fast things can change. So I'm telling all of you right now, when you think about that, we have got to be aware and be in the present moment. We're always so far ahead of ourselves or so far behind that we're not really fully participating in the moment we're in. And so that's what I want people to do. Take Good Morning Gorgeous, take that message, and be in the present moment, and together, let's go deal some hope.
There you go. And you hear from someone who definitely has been able to do that. Again, everyone, Dale Smith Thomas has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Dale, as I knew it was going to be.
Again, the book
is Good Morning.
Gorgeous.
Hey, we're definitely going to make that happen. We're going to talk to Cora. We're going to definitely make that happen. The book's available through our friends at Amazon.com. Your website has a lot of information on it, Dale. Why don't you give that out for our audience to be able to stay connected with you?
Sure. It's DaleSmithThomas.com or winnersbychoice.com. That's the name of my company. And on there, you can link to all my social media. There's some videos on there. There's some podcasts on there. You can sign up for Motivational Monday, which will keep you updated on my schedule. I hope to be back in Mississippi and possibly doing some things there in the area in Jackson, and would love to meet all of you. So thank you so much, Cyrus. I look forward to continuing this conversation in the future and sharing with everyone about your work. I appreciate the difference that you're making and all that you're doing to make the world a better place, and I'm just grateful that you let me be part of that.
Well, look, I'm glad to do it. Like I said, as soon as I found out from Cora about you, I said, look, I got to get her on Conversations Live. I mean, it just seemed like the perfect fix. So I was so excited to be able to have read the book.
No doubt.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you again, Dale, for the time. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to the next conversation with you. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Dale, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go over to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.